Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, and here today I'm bringing you the first half of my album of the year list. This is something I am very excited to bring to you. Going through and compiling this list just showed me just how much metal I listened to this year and really enjoyed. Now, it was a challenge narrowing this down, and there were things that I had to cut off that I really enjoyed, and that was difficult. This is going to be number 41 through 21. Why 41 and not 40? To be honest, when I was writing this down and preparing for this, I realized I miscounted a little bit and just didn't want to cut off something that I had already prepared for. I guess it's my channel, and there is no hard rule that says I have to make this a nice, pretty, even number. But anyway, let's just get into it. Coming in at 41, we have Cold World with Isolation. Cold World comes out of Germany, and this one came off of Eisenwald Records, and this is just an absolutely frigid, depressive black metal record. Dark and despairing, but also hauntingly beautiful. There's just a great sense of despondent melodicism everywhere to discover on this one. Lots of raw atmosphere just working everywhere. This is one to really drift off to and really meditate on. Coming in at 40, we have Crypte, Capsule. Crypte comes from the Netherlands, and this one was released off of Sentient Ruin Laboratories. It's a super experimental death metal record with some very strange production choices and just some very unique and kind of bizarre explorations in sound. I think is dense and very chaotic and just destructively heavy. There are moments where I feel completely bewildered as I try to wrap my head around everything that's going on that sounds so alien to my listening experience. There's just this sense of utter madness covering and looming over this record that I am just super about. Coming at 39, we have Ghoul with XS. Ghoul comes out of the Netherlands, and this one was released on Consoling Sounds. This is some very post-rock inspired doom metal. It's really theatrical with a laser sharp understanding of dynamics and atmosphere, and like a good post-rock or post-metal album, this one builds up to certain climaxes and allows for some of the less intense passages to really create a mood. There's these crescendos and decrescendos that is used to take you to a certain destination and a journey from beginning to end on this record. Coming in at 38, we have the latest from Vessel of Iniquity. And Vessel of Iniquity comes from the UK, and this one came out of Sentient Ruin Laboratories, and this is black metal, inject it with tons of harsh noise influences. There's a real industrial veneer hitting this one. You get these crazed walls of sound and feedback to create this nightmarish hell of an experience for the listener to dive into. But while Vessel of Iniquity explores these very punishing and frenzied experiments in texture, the band doesn't forget how to construct a captivating tune and have it be memorable and not just sound, but there is songcraft here. At 37, we have Undeath. It's time to rise from the grave. Undeath comes from Rochester, New York, and this one came off of Prosthetic Records. Now, if you're a metalhead, even casually, I doubt I'm really introducing this band to you at this point, as they have really blown up as of late. Now, if I'm being honest, admittedly, it took me some time to warm up to this one. I'm not gonna lie. When it came out, I didn't quite understand the hype. But over time, this record really grew on me. And I just can't deny just how much of a good time this thing really is. So you get this very classic, to the point death metal from these guys with just excellent songcraft, coming to you with unbridled aggression. This thing is nasty and irreverent and just fucking heavy. So yeah, you can say I'm on board now, and I get it. I get why this album is being so hyped by so many people. At 36, we have Mycelium, Miscoticism, Disseminating the Propagules. This band comes out of Glasgow, and it came off of Blood Harvest Records. And this is my favorite mushroom-themed death metal album of the year. This thing is dense and it's pulverizing. Some more no nonsense, no frills death metal. There's nothing really pretty on this. It's cacophonous, lots of texture and change-ups, just monstrous riffs, blast beats, disgusting vocal performances. I can't say enough good about this. If you're a death metal head, go listen to this thing. At 35, we have the Otolith with Folium Limina. The Otolith comes out of Salt Lake City, and this one came off of Blues Funeral Records. And the Otolith is a band that kind of comes out of the ashes from the late Sub Rosa, which was another band that I happen to really enjoy. And this is a very cinematic yet very crushing doom metal experience. It's just, you get these grand and epic passages. There's a unique use of strings that give it its theatrical edge. It's heavy but also majestic and awe-inspiring at times. At 34, we have Camera, Cerebral Alchemy. Camera comes out of Slovenia, and this one came off of avant-garde music. And this is a very left field, explorative black metal album that's not overly pretentious, but willing to get weird and kind of out there often. I love the very eccentric vocal bits and passages that this one presents, it's still very chilling and evil, and possesses the things you love about black metal while also pushing it in very unexpected places. At 33, we have Raptor, Blackfire. Raptor comes out of Argentina, and this one was released off of Dying Victims Productions. And this is just one of the most fun, kick-ass traditional heavy metal albums I heard all year. You get some sticky choruses, slick riffs, and just this snotty, punkish charm throughout. Soaring vocals, killer leads, sleek production. Not much I can complain about. This is how you do heavy metal. This is how you do it right. I love this thing. At 32, we have Morbid Dawn with Dark Mysteries of Time and Eternity. And Morbid Dawn comes out of Phoenix, and this one was released on Carbonized Records. This is a melodic black metal release that really finds that perfect balance of atmosphere on one hand and aggression on the other one. This album is very reminiscent of that second wave black metal movement in its production and just texture and overall sound. It's grim as all hell, but also this enchanting mystery kind of hangs over it. This album is cold and wicked with some stellar and captivating instrumental work demonstrated throughout. Coming in at 31, we have a split album between Thou and Mizmor. This one was called Myopia. Thou comes out of Baton Rouge, and Mizmor hails out of Portland. And this one was released from Gilead Media. Both these bands have a doom metal background, and Thou comes in it with kind of a history in sludge, and Mizmor brings the black metal element. And these two approaches on this record blend together and complement each other very well. There is a ton of chemistry on this record. And if you're someone who's familiar with either of these acts' back catalogs, you're probably going to get exactly what you expect. And that's a good thing. It's just massively heavy and abrasive and crushing. It's harsh, but you get a very intense sense of longing and yearning that you would expect from doom metal and both of these bands' discographies. Just fantastic production, mammoth riffs, and these harrowing vocal performances throughout. These two bands did not disappoint with their collaboration here. Coming at 30, we have the Pacification of Death from Jade. This one comes out of Pulverized Records. And this is a very atmospheric death doom record. And this release is just a monster. Engulfing dread throughout, brought to you through gargantuan, very low-end heavy riffs with a knack for mournful melodicism that is very memorable and undeniable. Something very haunting about this one and ghostly about this release. Also just feeling grand and larger than life throughout its entirety. Coming in at 29, we have Reborn from the band Ahava, who comes out of Russia, and this was another one that was released from Avant-Garde Music. And this is post-black metal, done so right. This thing just kind of explores and drifts off into long, captivating swaths of expansive atmosphere. There's such a chilling and pensive mood that just captivates me throughout. This is a nighttime listen for sure. Best understood and enjoyed in kind of a isolated context. Going through this one, the sense of nuance is just unreal. So much hidden detail throughout that is going to reveal itself through time. This is definitely going to take multiple listens to fully digest. This one is, and to overuse some cliches here, majestic, and it's a haunting journey that comes in and clocks in and over an hour long, and it justifies its runtime. Coming in at 28, we have Ahava, Through Sheer Will and Black Magic. This band comes out of Philadelphia, and this is a $20 spin release. This is a blackened thrash metal force to be reckoned with. While keeping that unholy black metal veneer, you're also met with some very twisting, fast, and aggressive thrash metal riffing that works very well in cooperation with the black metal bits to this. There is a technicality here that's pretty impressive, but that is exciting and never really loses its focus and just kind of drifts off into kind of overly virtuosic showmanship. This thing just kicks so much ass from start to finish, and there's a reason why it is getting so much hype. At 27, we have Altars with Ascetic Reflection. This band comes out of Adelaide, Australia, and it came off of Everlasting Spew Records. This is a very dissonant death metal release that just winds and weaves and goes through so many changes and countless kind of curveballs. The songcraft here is phenomenal. The composition work is unreal. Definitely unpredictable and surprising at every corner. It's heavy. There's an overwhelming intensity to this one. And the musician here is just incredibly impressive and a real sight to behold. Coming in at 26, we have Psy with Siki. And Psy comes out of Tokyo. And this one was a Peaceville Records release. And the avant-garde black metal legends just strike again. It's a very strange and eccentric approach to black metal. They continue their unpredictable and feverishly exciting approach to the genre, just some odd instrumentation and production choices throughout. It's a great addition to this already iconic band's stellar and legendary discography. At 25, we have Vacuous, Dreams of Dysphoria. Vacuous comes out of the UK, and this one came out of Meisako Unoho Records. And Vacuous just creates this rotting, filthy, and slimy take on death metal. Just oppressive riffs that really suffocate you with its texture. This band builds their tracks through density, building up layers of sound and slowly taking them away and repeating and progressing their tracks forward in that way. And it's a really unique way of doing that. I think this is an album that revealed itself to me over time. I did review it and I was very positive about this record at the time, but with it kind of growing and kind of me kind of meditating on it more, I've just grown to love it even more than I did when I reviewed it about a month ago. At 24, we have Mother of Graves, Where the Shadows Adorn. Mother of Graves comes out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and this is a very kind of goth-leading, very Paradise Lost inspired death doom album with this, where this dreary melodicism interacts with very despondent and mournful and crushing riffs. There's this incredible sense of songwriting with memorable hooks. You feel the loneliness in the vocal performances for sure. The guitars just weep and sing at you with a very lonely sense ruminating over it. It's just an exceptional addition to the death doom subgenre. At 23, we have Blut aus Nord, Disharmonium. Blut aus Nord comes out of France, and this one came off of Devamore Mori Productions. Now, Blut aus Nord is a favorite of mine. I'm a huge fangirl. You can see the Blut aus Nord poster right there, and in my opinion, maybe I'm biased, this band just adds another stellar chapter to their already so impressive and expansive discography. They are a band that continuously experiments and pushes black metal to new places that haven't been explored before. And this one is Blut aus Nord at a particularly abysmal and cavernous approach. This thing is aggressive, it's punishing, it's dark, and there's just hopeless mystery that hangs over the entire record. It's haunting, it's horrific, it's punishing, and the atmosphere here makes this album such a ride. At 22, we have Floyd Gay. One day they'll wonder what happened here. Floyd Gay comes out of New York, and this album is meant to be a retelling of the John Carpenter film The Thing. Now, Floyd Gay came out this year with one of the more interesting and unique black metal albums I heard all year. It's a very different approach to the genre. You still get that icy and all of the black metal characteristics you know about the genre, but they also draw from many unexpected influences such as ambient and post-punk and film score and dark wave and even some quirky new wave elements find their way into the mix. And they find ways to blend the sound with black metal very, very well. And I didn't know that these sounds could work with black metal the way it does. There are moments that just inspire me and don't really remind me of anything, that are just fully original, which is very hard to do at this point in the genre's evolution. If you're looking for something very different in your metal listening this year, please give this one a go. I think it's going criminally under the radar. It deserves so much attention and hype. And at 21, we have Dream Unending, Song of Salvation. This is another $20 spin release. And this is another band that is really blowing up. And if you're into metal, you probably at this point don't need me to tell you about them. They are getting coverage that I did not see coming for a metal album like this, such as getting Best New Music on Pitchfork recently, which, good for Dream Unending. I'm glad that they are getting so much exposure now because they are an exceptional band. This is, I would say, doom metal mostly, with an unparalleled scope and ambition and sense of exploration. There's this real dramatic flair that carries this album. Massive riffs for sure, but also some gorgeous and dreamy, hence the name of this band, soundscapes and passages. So much here to explore and experience. This is just brilliant songcraft and composition, and this is an album that I think deserves all of the hype and attention it's getting because it's a fantastic release. And that concludes the first half of my list. I will be putting out the top 20 in a couple of days. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of what I do, want to be notified of that, it would mean the world to me and help this channel grow if you would hit that subscribe. Share this video if you know a metalhead who's looking for more recommendations. If you listen to any of these records and have thoughts, feedback, you disagree, you agree, let me know. I love reading those comments. I have a Twitter you can follow. The link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. Keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh. Signing off.